And that first line, I'm a big first line guy.
No.
The first line of this, I'm like,
Yeah.
It's a home run. Like, honestly, the rest of the lines are too. You could have gotten away with some throwaways in there. She didn't. First line of the pre-chorus hits. I don't know what Ruby Red Flags even is, but it's interesting. The first line of the chorus just doesn't.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Just doesn't. It's like the runt of the litter of all the lines in the song.
I get what you're saying. If I could come up with something else, I would have come up with something else. Like,
go for the session. Figure the chorus out. If we do that, I'm going to consider it a win. Track guitars and vocals.
all right, well, then let's figure out this chorus.
What you're hearing right now is the original chorus for December. I wrote this song back in August of 2022, and I performed it at my local open mic shortly after I'd written it. It was one of the first times where I was able to take an original song, bring it out live, get good feedback on it immediately, and it definitely gave me a sense that this song was special. When I brought the song to Matt, he had some critiques about the chorus, and he really wanted to dig in and see if there was any way we could make it stronger.
What's the concept you want to get across in the chorus?
The concept is
A one-sentence version of the concept. I feel like it's kind of like coming to a point, and the chorus doesn't get to the point. I want you to say what you want to say,
yeah.
but I want to say it in the best way possible.
I was reading through the lyrics out loud like over and over again to try to like keep the story in my head and let that lead to something that would still feel relevant. But it just felt like the most natural thing to do from what I wrote is to like have that like angry chorus. And I don't want that.
Why do you want that?
Because I don't want that to be the central idea of the song. I'm saying all these things that are like not nice. I want to have a break in that mood in the chorus to be able to soften it a little bit.
You may be losing sight of the fact that a song doesn't necessarily have to capture every part of how you feel about something. I think it's a better representation of a moment than an entire story.
Now, even with these amazing words of wisdom from Matt, I still wasn't able to come up with something in the room. So I went home and worked on it for a few days, trying a few different things, sending them back to Matt, and eventually I came up with a chorus that we both liked, and that was actually a lot better than the original chorus. Matt and I went to USC together, and we took this class together my senior year. This was a really cool class where we could hang out and jam and be in bands, and I'm really grateful that it gave way to this awesome collaboration. My favorite thing about working with Matt is that he's honest. He will tell you what he thinks, he will tell you what needs to be done to make a song better, and he doesn't tell you what you want to hear, he keeps it real. So I really appreciate Matt's honesty and his willingness to put the song first. Another thing that I really appreciate about working with Matt is not only is he an incredible producer and just has so much knowledge and a really good knack for melody and directing vocals, he's also just a really good friend. One of my major influences while working on a lot of the tracks on this EP was Lizzie McAlpine. I will never forget the morning that I decided to listen to one of her projects for the first time. It was her EP called When the World Stopped Moving. It inspired me so much, and it made me realize, like, that's the kind of songwriter I want to be. And so when her full-length album came out, 5 Seconds Flat, it came out just at the perfect time because I was in the midst of all the emotions that I was experiencing that brought me to write all these songs for the EP. And so we were really kind of chasing Lizzie, I guess you could say, throughout a lot of this process. One of the ways that we implemented the Lizzie McAlpine influence on this track was through the guitar. The sound of the acoustic guitar that Lizzie has throughout a lot of her tracks has this texture that, at the time, Matt speculated might have come from having a rubber bridge. So we wanted to recreate that, and Matt had a really cool idea. Since he didn't have a rubber bridge guitar, he decided to take this canvas bag that he had, scrunch it up, stick it underneath the strings, push it up right against the bridge, and tape it down. And it created a very similar muted effect that we were looking for. You can hear that throughout the track, and I think it gives it a warmth that I think the song wouldn't be what it is without it. There's another part of the production that I'm not sure people notice when they first listen to it, but I think it's one of the most important pieces of it, and it really holds everything together. It's this organ track that Matt put in that is just so cool and very moody and kind of haunting, and I'm such a fan of it, and I really want you guys to hear it, so take a listen. Recording vocals is my favorite part. Getting to shut off all the other parts of my brain and just focus on singing is my favorite thing.
What version of you does she get? The masquerading man or the broken little kid? You never had a pet. That's the second time, so I don't want to do that.
I always think of myself as a singer first, so this is where I feel like I really get to be in my element.
And does she know you like to change your mind? Oh, I hope she's prepared for what she might find. Oh, you want me to say something?
No.
Okay. As the winter wind rolls in and chills your bones.
Cool. Alright. Anything else?
Did we do everything?
Yeah, 'cause I'm just gonna chorus.
Now that the main vocals are done, it's time to track the background vocals, which is another one of my favorite parts of the process, but it does get a little bit tricky sometimes, depending on how complicated the vocal arrangement is. But at the end of the day, it's always fun.
Has kind of a little medieval sound to it. On its own.
You know what it made me think of? Have you seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Okay.
There's a whole part where like he's trying to communicate with the aliens via music, so they like play tones off their spaceship, and then he plays it on a piano, and like that's what it sounds like. What are we doing?
I was just sorry. I want to do that one more time.
Oh. Okay. She's prepared for what she might find.
I want to backtrack to what Matt said earlier about a song not encapsulating everything you feel. What Matt said there was really huge, and, you know, looking back on that footage, I don't think it was really hitting me at that moment how profound his words were. And the principle that he's explaining here is something that I've actually come to realize in the last 5 or 6 months or so. You can write a song about anything, and it doesn't have to define you. It doesn't have to define your entire opinion on something or someone. It can really just capture a moment, and that's such a big part of songwriting because it's so emotional and our emotions are fleeting. So when you write something, it doesn't necessarily remain true for you for the rest of your life. It's really a snapshot. I guess I realize I can give myself the permission to not feel ashamed of that or feel like, you know, I'm standing by this emotion as a concrete forever thing. I think sometimes the act of putting a song out there makes it feel permanent, but really it isn't, because once the song is out, it's not yours anymore. The song doesn't belong to me anymore. It belongs to everyone who's listened to it and who's enjoyed it. And since I've released it, I've gotten a lot of amazing feedback and people sending me messages and DMs telling me that the song really was relatable to them and something that they needed to hear. But there were moments where I felt unsure about it or kind of ashamed about it. There have definitely been and continue to be moments where I look back at the lyrics and think, wow, I cannot believe I said that, but I did it, and there it is, and it's out there, and people have gravitated towards it. I used to release songs under a different name, and nothing ever had as much of an impact as December had, so thank you to anyone who's listened and added it to a playlist. There's a lot of you who have done that, and that's like the coolest thing ever to me. And you know, I think it all started with rewriting that chorus, so thanks, Matt.
You'll find